Richard Marijs. This is Richard Marijs from T-Mobile here in the Netherlands. Tim Hall from Somin. And these are just two partners in the whole ecosystem of PrioCom. The other partners are located at my tech center in Kuala Lumpur at the CCW event. That's where I'm going right now. Things come to life at Critical Communications World. Well, one of these great things is the cooperation of PrioCom and TASSTA. You might know TASSTA, well, you might know Kaveh Hussain-Sadeh, who's the CEO of TASSTA, from all of his travel, all of his meetings and testings of his MCPTT solution around the world. And TASSTA and PrioCom are partnering together, and this partnership is really something to take a look at. And that's Kaveh Hussain-Sadeh, and we have Angelo Bul over here. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, we're fine.
Something is in the air, right?
Something for sure.
Something is in the air.
For sure.
A partnership takes two. So we have TASSTA, we have PrioCom. How does your offering look like if we're talking about MCPTT solution from PrioCom?
Oh, if you look at our total ecosystem and our partners, of course our push-to-talk device is very important to our customers. We have a couple of samples there.
Okay, let's take a look what we got here, because these are the devices that we're talking about, right?
Basically we work with two vendors now, which from our experience we believe are fit for the future in this market. It is the Sonim devices and the range from Telo.
So this is the Sonim one?
This is the Sonim
XP8
and this is the 590 from Telo.
Okay.
As you see, this is the TASSTA application. It's PrioCom branded, but it's running on all these devices. So that's one part, because it's what the customer really touches. The other part is the connectivity. Well, this is our PrioCom SIM card. We are an MVNO on the T-Mobile network. Why this is important? Because in order to do a full 2GPP compliant play on push-to-talk over cellular, you need some extras there. Priority on the network is very important, especially when there is congestion or it's busy on the network. You need this priority data access. That's what we deliver to our customers.
Kaveh, if there's somebody who understands MCPTT around the world, it's you. So what is about this relationship with PrioCom?
Yeah, we are always thinking about mission critical because our background is coming from the radio environment, right? And mission critical users are basically our heart and very important for us. For that reason, we are supporting ETSI with the 3GPP standard for mission critical push to talk and mission critical data and mission critical video, basically everything under the umbrella of MCX. And because we want to make the difference to the other applications, right? It's always good to know for the customers, for the end users, where they can find quality, where they can find a standard they can trust and they can rely on to be secure and also to purchase a future-proof solution.
Yeah. Okay, so in relationship with PrioCom, what will then be your value add to the whole ecosystem?
Our part is, as you mentioned in the beginning, that we are traveling globally, right? So we carry the knowledge of the world. We try to carry the knowledge of the world and bring it into one solution. And that makes it, like, I would say, the most innovative and most competitive solution what you can see on the market. And we are taking care that we are keeping our critical communication profile. Again, with 3GPP, we have loan broker protection according to a German standard for is BGR 139. And so we have now implemented push to video. So it's everything is basically we keep pushing that we are always one or two steps ahead.
TASSTA is relatively new company, but you have a large and extensive background in PMR communications.
Yes, exactly. I am right now 13 years already in the PMR market. So basically with the first CCW exhibitions I visited, and then we had also our booth. TASSTA is right now around 7 years on the market. and presenting always the newest technologies. And as far as we are coming from the radio environment, we focused always as one of the only companies very much also on gateways. That means we created a dumb gateway, we created a motor turbo gateway, a high tier 2 Tate now we are doing, we have a Sepura gateway, we have a Kenwood gateway for next edge conventional P25. So we are one of the, I would say, only companies in the world who is providing a universal gateway to the radio world, because we believe always in the extension and on the concept of both solutions.
So with that in mind, then it's time to speak to Harald Ludwig from the TCCA. Before I am speaking to Harald Ludwig, I'm having a lunch meeting. In the meantime, just take a look at the show. This is a fantastic show. If there's something in the world that's focused on critical communications, if there's some show, it's going to be this show, definitely.
A leading failure.
With geofencing, it could be done to actually allow the...
So, what I'm going to do, because look, we've got 10 awards to get through in the next 45 minutes. He's only going to work.
Lunchtime?
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime. If there is somebody within this whole ecosystem of companies actually that is very important, well, not somebody, but also the organization, that is Harald Ludwig from the TCCA. The TCCA plays a very important role in that, right? It's very important to follow the standard, isn't it?
You're right, there are many PTT implementations, but many of them are proprietary. And if you have different proprietary implementations, you cannot work together. They are not working together. You cannot communicate with each other. So it's very important to follow standards, because only standard-based solutions give you full interoperability between different implementations.
And for PrioCom, it's quite important that the TCCA is supporting this, right?
I think that's really good that they're starting a mission-critical push-to-talk service, because so far we only know about public safety projects in this area, and this will be an offer for non-public safety users. And I think it's also good that they follow the standards, so they're really dedicated to follow the 3GPP standards, which is very good for the users, because the users then have really full interoperability.
So there is still another meeting to go, another interview to go with one of these partners in this ecosystem of PrioCom. So we had PrioCom, we had TASSTA, we spoke to T-Mobile, we spoke, I guess this is the head office of T-Mobile here in the Netherlands, and that's just round over there. And we're going to speak to Tim Hall and Richard Marijs. Tim Hall is from Somin, Richard Marijs is from T-Mobile. That's the other part of the partnership.
It's a regular European band.
Richard Marijs, T-Mobile. Richard, we're talking about a network used for critical communication services. Now, within critical communications, a network should be available 99.999%. What about a public network of T-Mobile for these kind of services?
Yeah, a lot of people would think that a public network cannot deliver such a high availability. But if you see how we invested in the path towards 5G, we did a lot of investments, and we make sure, of course, that our network has one of the highest uptimes ever. Of course, we have on roughly 70% of all our radio locations, we have redundant fiber optic connections. We have 1 hour battery backup for 4G connectivity on all our base stations everywhere in the Netherlands. And we use around 50,000 4G cells only in the Netherlands to provide a significant amount of capacity, and to also make sure that if we prioritize or preempt certain data streams like PrioCom, that our customers do not necessarily have a negative impact immediately on this.
And you're partnering with PrioCom, because that's the base of the whole agreement, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason why we did is that we could either choose to evolve and implement mission critical push to talk ourselves, had to make a decision on which type of platforms to use, and then bring it to the market with our, let's say, B2B power. But it also means that we had to excel more in this domain. We had to bring up to speed our competence, and then we start competing with all the, let's say, mission critical push to talk players out there. And we deliberately choose to not do that, but enable another partner in order to deploy mission critical push to talk and enable all these other all the other companies and partners to work with our network instead of trying to compete with them.
We spoke to Somin. Great to see you here, Tim.
Good morning.
Good morning. In the Netherlands, away from the critical communications world, what is the role for Somin within this partnership? TASSTA, PrioCom and Somin, right?
Good question. So we're really part of an ecosystem that we're building with applications, with mission critical PTT solutions, accessories, and those type of things. So we're a leading part of the ecosystem they're creating.
Yeah, and Somin is not just a small company, right? You guys are listed on the NASDAQ, I believe?
True, yeah. We just listed on the NASDAQ in the month of May, and we're really one of the leading providers of ultra-rugged devices and accessories, and working with application providers and push-to-talk. We really believe in the push-to-talk market, and that's something we have developed devices specifically for.
And it's not a question if, it's a question when everything is going to be introduced, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If you're looking at some of the recent analyst reports, they're really looking at an increase over the next 5 years in mission critical PTT launches, and we're seeing that as well all throughout Europe. Of course, in the U.S. with FirstNet, in the public safety area with AT&T. So I think it's really the beginning of good things for mission critical PTT.
But we didn't speak to Ryan Wu. And Ryan is from Telos Systems. Telos Systems is a device manufacturer from China who is manufacturing rugged devices that are suitable for mission critical push to talk. And mission critical push to talk is the proposition of PrioCom. Ryan, you're the last partner that I speak in this whole ecosystem of PrioCom. Very important, of course, because device is very important. That's what the customer sees first. Have it in his hand. It needs to be rugged. It needs to be very reliable, and that's what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah, and we try to do. And actually, PrioCom, they've been working very hard in selecting the devices. They spend lots of time visiting China, visiting different companies, see the factory, see the lab, see the R&D team, and finally they selected the devices.
But what about the accessories?
We see accessories, some tools that can be very helpful and to add the productivity for the customers. So in that regards, we have developed a lot of accessories that to work with our products.
And for PrioCom, it's also important to work with a company that has access to European market. You have been on PMR Expo exhibition, so you're focused on the European market as well very much, right?
We are very focused and we dedicated to the European market as well. We see Europe is a market that is very organized. They have a lot of good traditions that need to follow. And PrioCom, in our opinion, is among those traditional companies, but they have a very unique and standout will. They want to do something different from the traditional field of business, and actually that's matching each other's philosophy.